Almost
Simon.
wanted to click go live.
No, wait, no, we can't do it yet. Oh no.
Oh, gosh.
We're gonna start laughing, and people are gonna be like, "What are they laughing at? I don't get it."
You don't
That
want
one
to
we
know.
won't repeat.
All right, Jake, go ahead.
Did you go live yet? You want me to go live? Okay, we're live. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
it's live.
Here we
Go
are.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We are live. So I'm just gonna forewarn everybody. I do have the Bucks game on, so if you guys ask me a question, I apologize. We're trying to make a comeback on the Lakers, which sounds gross.
That's sad that it even has to happen.
Yeah. Lakers are actually playing really tough
defense. Finds a nut.
And they've been getting in the lane pretty easily. So let's hope that changes.
I mean, the Lakers had the best player in the NBA on their team, so
they definitely don't have Giannis.
No, they don't.
So there's that. There's
Russell Westbrook?
I won't lie. Russell Westbrook is passing the ball very well right now.
I mean, it's still the middle of the third. You make it sound like you're down like double digits.
They were down 8 at halftime.
They made a run.
Yeah, we were losing. That's all I'm saying. And Russell Westbrook was crying because somebody was giving him crap from the crowd. So there's that. He's like, that's bullshit. You're gonna act like you won't talk shit all game, right? Well, anyways, we're here for the Packer episode, so welcome back, everybody. Bryant and Simon here. We had a quick episode last week because Bryant wasn't babbling on for an hour and a half, so that was kind of nice.
Now that's all over.
Now it's all over. And Brooke Lopez hits it 3. Throw it away, baby. Did you guys watch that game last night, the Bills and the Patriots?
Caught some of it.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah, I only watched bits and pieces.
Trying to scout our Super Bowl opponent or what?
Yeah. You know it.
I was very happy. He hates Josh Allen. He's a Patriots fan, so he hates Josh Allen. He always says that he has a dumb, fat forehead. He's 10 years old, by the way. So watching a 10-year-old rage about a grown man is just – now I know what my dad felt like watching me when I was mad.
I don't care what he says, that jump pass, like where the Patriots gave up on it and he hit Davis perfectly. I was like, man, that's like some old. We used to see that stuff on a regular basis. So.
We did, and the sad part is not a lot of people remember that, man. Now they all want to bench him.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy? Or trade him?
Insane.
You know what's funny is like all these people that were dumpstering Jordan Love, for like the last
now they love
2 years are now just like hopping on him, and I'm just sitting here like. It's just
we can try to get to the recap a little quicker so we can spend a little more time on the Aaron Rodgers Jordan Love discussion, because I think there's a lot of gems that we can uncover in there between the four of us.
Yeah, we can absolutely run through this Eagles game. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff in my opinion. A lot of
the Eagles ran through us.
Yeah.
Literally.
Too soon. Too soon.
All right. So I want to start this off by saying 2 things. First, if Packers fans are being positive and they're saying stuff like, we still have a chance, there's still a way that the Packers can make it into the playoffs. People don't need to be in the comments being like, stop embarrassing yourself, they're done. Let people be optimistic if they want to.
Yep.
Like, if there's a 2% chance, that means 2 times out of 100 it'll happen. Why not now?
That's true.
And second thing is we'll talk about Christian Watson, but he was Rookie of the Month for the NFL. Now, I hate this about our fan base. And everybody's like trying to congratulate Christian Watson and be excited for him because he's a rookie and he's going to be a big part of the future. And then there's 30 or 40% of the comments are, yeah, but what's our record? Listen, this is what I'm going to say. Stop waiting for somebody else to save you. This is how I want to say this. Stop waiting for the Packers to save you from your shitty mindset with their record. There are so many other ways to enjoy football season other than the record. Because, like, we're still going to be excited about Christian Watson. Why? Because he's a part of our team beyond this season. So is Romeo Doubs. So is Quay Walker. All these rookies that are getting all this playing time. We are excited to watch them because they're a part of the future beyond this year's record. Stop waiting for the team's record to save you before you can say that that's the only way you can enjoy a season, because it's not. That's kind of the basis of the culture of our show, is that there are other ways to enjoy football season and enjoy the Packers season, even if they don't have a good record. Like I've said this a whole bunch of times, in the NFL, there's 31 teams that don't win the Super Bowl every year. Could you imagine if only one fan base was happy with every football season and 31 fan bases were miserable? Like, what kind of world is that? Is that a world that any of us want to live in? Like, sure, there's going to be, a small population that's excited that they won their fantasy football championships, but they're still going to be bummed out that the Packers didn't win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. Simon, I'll let you go. You got something to say, Simon?
He's raising his hand because he's going to win his league.
Yeah, I was just raising my hand for the fantasy football team.
I want to say something, though, to your point, Tyler.
There's other ways I remember to enjoy the football season.
Yeah, I remember the first year that Aaron Rodgers was going to start, and I remember telling myself, like, I don't think we're going to have a winning record or anything, but I just want to see that this dude is our future or whatever, because we were moving on from Brett Favre. And I remember we went 6-10 that season, but I was like super excited because Aaron Rodgers, I'm not saying that Christian Watson is ever going to have the impact, but I'm not doubting him either. Look at what he's showing in the last 3 weeks. And that's just, people can say, oh, it's a flash in the pan. That's a one game thing if it's a flash in the pan. He has consistently stacked success and continue to build. So we can be excited. But back to my point is when Aaron Rodgers went 6-10, he showed that he can be a starter. None of us could have predicted what he had become, but he showed that he was a very capable and very good quarterback that year. And I was very excited watching that. Even with the losses, I was like, okay, this dude's our future. And so I think people need to flip their mindset. Correct, we are not eliminated from playoffs. But even if we lose, please not this week. If anything, just make me happy. I'll be happy with the season to beat the Bears twice and beat the hang
on. I'm gonna ruin Steve's night. Steve.
But yeah. Anyways, even if we say we lose after our bye week and then we start Jordan Love, people should be excited for the rest of the season to watch these rookies play.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Steve, first of all, what's up, man? How you doing? Do you think Bears fans are embarrassed to be Bears fans? No. Maybe they should be. Now I'm just talking shit. They shouldn't be. I mean, you love who you love, right? Did you know that each of the last 3 seasons, the Bears have gone on a 5-game losing streak? The Packers went on a 4-game losing streak and the fucking sky was falling.
No.
Imagine guaranteeing a 5-game losing streak 3 years in a row. That would fucking suck. That would suck, dude. Like, they're currently on a 5-game losing streak right now. After we beat them, because Rodgers, their owner, is playing. It's okay, because we was not good. I know, you're still not good. I'm sorry. After Rodgers beats them, they'll be on a 6-game losing streak. But you know what? Steve is a real fan. He's a real Bears fan that continues to come back every season. And he looks for young guys to watch and watch them develop. Steve is a real football fan. I respect Steve. I don't respect that he always picks the Bears to beat the Packers, though. But you got to stop that, man.
That is true, because I have seen a lot of.
Oh my God! Here we go. Stop with it, Steve. You're delusional.
Too soon.
Steve, last year you said give me 3 years.
So, but
next year would be year 3, though.
They've managed to find positive things to come out of the team, regardless of the train wreck they are. I see them constantly posting about
the second best running back in the NFL.
At quarterback.
Oh my God! Okay.
He has the second highest running efficiency in the NFL.
Simon, so Bears, we got to take shots, bro.
It's not. No. It's just. It took me a second to realize what the hell you were talking about. I was like, David Montgomery's not that good, man. And I realized I got it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't really have a lot to add to that tangent, to be honest. I would just say, like, I don't really understand. I don't even care if we're out of the playoff contention. I'm still gonna root for the Packers to win. I don't root for draft picks or moving up in the draft. I hate that. No. I don't get it.
It teaches a bad mindset to the players, in my opinion, especially the young ones.
Well, moving up in the draft is not a guarantee. Yep. Like, it's not. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, not to take shots here, but Lions have been top 10 for most of the last 30 years. Bears have been, top 10 most of the last 30 years. What have they done? How is moving up 1 or 2 draft picks going to guarantee this team's success?
Yeah, let's see. Some of the recent high picks, even Chicago. Trubisky, where's he now? A backup somewhere. Where's Kevin White? Like, it doesn't prove anything. The only thing I'll root for the Packers draft is that we trade the 3rd round pick to just even. I will trade our 3rd round pick this year for a 4th.
If you want to take shots, the Bears were a top 5, top 10 pick the year Aaron Rodgers was drafted, and that guy fell all the way to 24th. So, take that for what you will. Just because you draft high doesn't mean the guy's going to be good.
And the Packers haven't been all that good at drafting high lately either. Wasn't Derek? Or no, he was later. That was a Super Bowl year. But
Rashawn Gary was probably our last really high draft pick.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Obviously,
he was our last top 20.
I just don't understand what's the point of being a fan if you're not going to root for your team to win.
Yeah, that shit's soft.
Yeah,
it's
anyone that plays.
Like, I don't care if they're like 2-14 and they're tied. I'm not going to root for them to lose just so they get like the 1st overall draft pick. I couldn't care less about that.
Yeah.
You know what Herm Edwards said? You play to win the game.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I don't know. It's just I don't really understand.
Steve, and even all right. So listen, this is what I wanted to say to Steve's comment about the Super Bowl. Like, sure, there's adjustments to expectations. Obviously, once the Packers went through a losing streak, we're like, all right, we need to adjust our expectations, and now we're looking at playoffs. And then it was down to now we're looking at we need to win out and have some other teams lose if we want to make the playoffs. Yeah. Even if, like Simon said, even if the team gets eliminated from the playoffs and doesn't make the playoffs, there are still other ways to enjoy the rest of the season. Watching Christian Watson is absolutely at the top of that list right now because of how well he's played the last 3 games. And honestly, I don't care about but how many wins do you have in the last 3 games? I don't care. Like, obviously I would prefer the team to win, but that my enjoyment of the Packers season does not hinge on whether they win or lose.
Look, we cannot change the past. We can't change the past. We can only set our future mindset.
Right. So. And that's why we try to frame this stuff the way that we do, is so that we can pass on to people that you can enjoy football season, even if the result isn't ideal. That you can look back at the 2022 Packers season and be like, yeah, the Packers went, say 8-9, say they finished 8-9, but Christian Watson broke out. He had those 3 crazy games. He had that 3 crazy game stretch. Or say he scores 2 more touchdowns this week, because the Bears do not have a good defense. Say he goes for 8 touchdowns in 4 weeks. Are you really only going to care that the Packers finished 8-9, or are you not going to be like, damn, Christian Watson went crazy for those 4 weeks right before the bye? There are other ways to have fun than just winning and losing. So we're going to start with the Eagles game, and Bryant has our number 1 star, who we've already mentioned by name. So go ahead, Bryant.
Yeah, it's not shocking. It's Christian Watson, right? So he led the team with 6 targets, which is just, for me, it's like another step for him, like taking over the number 1 role. I do think Romeo Doubs will have something to say about them. I think those have a very good even share here moving forward, especially next year and beyond. But he led the team, with 6 targets, caught 4 of them for 110 yards, and including a 63-yard touchdown. But what I like to see is all of his catches were either a first down or better. And they went for 11, 15, 21, and that 63-yarder. And obviously that 21-yarder was on 4th and 5. Yep. So just to see him continue to, put up the yards, and he's getting deep. And then, that wasn't even a deep shot, the one from Jordan Love. It was just a great route, and then run after the catch, right? So
everybody.
It's just nice to see his continued development, and I'm ready for him to do it again against the Bears, because I think he will.
Seeing that analysis, and it's like Christian Watson is so fast that he makes like other world-class fast athletes look slow. And it's like the way that he strides out is so crazy, because it doesn't even look like he's running that fast, but he's still just pulling away.
I heard the cornerback that he was running away from Ram like a 4-4-3 or 4-4-0 or something like that. And he was running away from the dude.
He looked like he ran a 4.7, Jason.
Yeah. Whoever, I remember one of the people chasing him had ran like a super fast 40, and he wasn't catching him.
Nah.
Damn. All right, Jake, who's our 2nd star?
Man, this is fucking refreshing. AJ Dillon,
yes,
man.
It is.
I mean,
yes.
Man, I love AJ Dillon. Like him as like a person outside of football, he's just like a normal dude that's just like gigantic. And then you put some football pads on him and he just loves running other people over and it's fucking fun to watch. He had an 8-yard per carry average. He only had 8 carries, but 64 yards, a touchdown, his second touchdown of the season. He caught 3 of his 4 targets for 24 yards, had an 11-yard long on his receptions. I don't want to get too deep in it because somebody, one of us, I forgot who it is going to talk a little bit more about that touchdown run. But yeah, AJ Dillon, it was a sight for sore eyes seeing him look like AJ Dillon of last season.
Yes, it was good to see him back and like playing well. He looked faster, honestly. Like I wrote that in my notes that he looks faster.
And oddly enough, when he was good, our offense was really good, I thought.
Him and his fiance just now pregnancy, maybe playing with a little more fire.
Quadzilla Jr., bro.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
What if that kid's going to come out and he's going to look like a giant thigh? Like
bro, he's going to have the chunkiest legs.
Dude, what's that cartoon with the baby that has just like huge masculine legs? I can't remember. I can't think of it right now.
You think of a Boss Baby?
Yeah,
like
probably.
Jimbo from Boss Baby. That's going to be AJ Dillon's baby. All right, Simon, what's the third star of the game?
I wish we could say that we had someone on defense that was a star. But it's Aaron Jones.
Wait till we get to the underrated performer. Just wait.
I know. You know what? There was a couple guys that actually had had a solid overall game. But third guy is Aaron Jones. He had like a very modest ground game. I feel like there was a couple times where Fletcher Cox or Brandon Graham, just bust through the line, just hit him at the line of scrimmage.
Who had one too?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was a good one too. But he had he had 12 for 43, and he had a rushing touchdown called back, but immediately responded with it. When Aaron Rodgers threw that ball, is not who I thought was going to catch that.
Yeah,
I was like that. I was like, what? He was just in the back of that. Like it was a really good play. Also, that rushing touchdown.
That was just like a great route too.
Yeah,
him to go up, out, and then back in as Rodgers was stepping up in the pocket. That was actually a really good route from a fucking running back.
I was gonna say I can't name a lot of running backs that I would put out wide and expect to run a great route. And
not many. I mean, like McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's one for sure.
I don't know. This is like just me speaking. I don't know if.
Yeah, Kamara. Yeah, that's a good one too. I would really have to think about that, but
like I haven't really like watched enough of his. Like I haven't watched enough.
They split him out wide sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had 99 yards on 15 touches and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the game that you love to see out of both running backs, to be honest.
I'm going to talk about it. I'm excited to share some of the stuff I got with you guys about the running backs when we get into some preview stuff.
That very split, like neither of them carried the ball or touched the ball way too much, and they both had very efficient games in one way or another. I was really like Aaron Jones he's the most fun player to watch on this team. I say it like every week.
Yeah, everyone was ready for him to be done like next year because of his contract, but I think at this point they find a way to keep him because he's just too important to the team.
I'm gonna say
Watson, I don't want to dive into that, but
might be the funnest guy now.
Okay,
I agree. I said that last week.
It's okay. I will say that Watson has become fun to watch because you never know what you're gonna fucking get. But like Aaron Jones, consistently every week in the chat, I feel like I say he's just such a fun player to watch.
Oh yeah, he's almost. I feel like he gets the Drew Holiday treatment. Tyler might agree with me. He gets the Drew Holiday treatment for being like he's top 5 at his position. When you talk about dual threat, but he doesn't get the fucking love that he should.
Yeah.
When you talk point guards in the NBA and you talk fucking two-way point guards, there's really not many I'm taking over Drew Holiday. I'm gonna be honest.
You're talking two-way? I don't know that there's any.
Yeah, seriously. And if you take McCaffrey's injury history into a factor, I might take Aaron Jones over Christian McCaffrey. I mean, when healthy, McCaffrey's obviously
he's
fucking beast. But is he there more than 50% of the time? No.
not in the last 2 years.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like the only guy that I might take over him right now is Alvin Kamara because Kamara does both extremely well.
Yeah, I love how consistent Aaron Jones has been good for the Packers since he's been drafted.
Yeah.
He's what, third all-time rusher now?
Florio.
Not yet.
He will I was going to say he will this week.
Be this week.
Oh, good, against the Bears. Perfect.
Yes.
Bernard said he hates Mike Florio.
That is the most random person to hate, I feel like.
So random.
Underrated performers. I have two linebackers, actually.
Oh, really?
So I was saying that he hoped that there was some stars on the defense. I have two underrated performers. One being Justin Hollins, who in his first game as a Packer, 2 tackles, a sack. Both tackles were for losses. So I have Justin Hollins, one, and then I have Kingsley Enagbare as the second one.
Yep.
I was gonna guess that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
A pass defense, and out of everybody on the Packers defense, I think he played the best contain on Jalen Hurts. He didn't make a bunch of plays to blow him up in the backfield or anything, but keeping him at or behind the line of scrimmage at least twice, and getting, I know Bryant's got one of them to talk about the fourth down, and I'm going to talk about the third down play, so I can just transition right into that and talk about the Packers defense. Is Kingsley Enagbare on 3rd and 1. Jalen Hurts tries a quarterback sneak, and Kingsley Enagbare not only grabs him by the arm, but also pulls him back away from the line of scrimmage so that he can't get that second effort to get across the first down marker. So that was one of the plays that stood out to me. And then the other one was the Justin Hollins sack. So both of the underrated performers are the 2 plays that stood out to me on defense. Justin Hollins, he beat the Eagles left tackle. He pushed him so far into the backfield and then chased Jalen Hurts. That's no small feat to pursue Jalen Hurts and to go make that play. So just to have the ability to beat the left tackle on a good offensive line, arguably top 5 offensive line, and then to go and pursue Jalen Hurts and finish the play with a sack. That was definitely a play that stood out to me. Jake, what stood out to you on the Packers defense?
Ooh, all right. So you want me to go over both my points right now?
Yeah, go both of your defense plays.
All right. So I'll talk about the first one first. It's Kenny versus Kelsey. I had this written down as my matchup last week, so I wanted to kind of follow up on it. I knew this was going to be a major matchup. Obviously, the Eagles like to do a lot of power runs. They have a mobile quarterback. I wanted us to, come into this game, I'm thinking, all right, let's get him into some 3rd and manageables, and let's have Kenny just push the pocket, make Jalen kind of run for his life and figure it out on the run, And we did do that a couple times, I guess, but then he just kind of decided to run past everybody. So that didn't help at all. But the one thing that I'm going to say is everybody's getting on Kenny, and Kenny got interviewed and was asking about his recent struggles. And he talked about that. He's taking it on himself. He's not going to blame the coaches. He's not going to blame other players. He's going to take it on himself. And I respect that as a man, that he's going to look at himself and be like, I'm playing bad. He says that he still sees things that he's doing well on film, but he wants to get back and dominate. He says that sometimes when he has a matchup, he has to notice that and he has to take advantage of that. So Kenny is very self-aware, and I love that. Now, against the Eagles, I'm going to get into something real quick here. Against the Eagles, Kenny was doubled on 16 of 57 snaps. 8 of them were on pass plays. 8 of them were on run plays. I don't fucking understand what happened from last year where we're not moving Kenny around. We're literally just leaving him in at nose tackle again.
You mean like we did week 1? We moved him. There was that one play we were all excited about where Kenny was on the right side with Rashawn Gary. And everyone else is on the left side. We haven't seen it. I don't recall.
And they have the defensive line depth for it. There's nobody injured on the defensive line. They have the personnel to be able to do that.
And I'm glad you brought up Gary because I was going to talk about that. How big dunk by Bobby Portis. Sorry. Gary being out is hurting Kenny because Gary being out takes that other star player away. But it's not that Kingsley isn't playing good. Kingsley's playing pretty good. And like Tyler brought up, Hollins actually was looking pretty good off the edge as well. And we know what Preston can do. So there's no excuses for the problems. And I'm not putting everything on Joe Barry because some of it is the players. So as we're talking about everything, some of it is on the players. I'm going to talk about fucking tackling or the lack thereof. That was some of the most piss poor football I've ever seen in my entire life. And I coach 9-year-olds. Yes, it's flag football, but they pursue the football better than the Packers did last week. For goodness sakes, why is there only one person running at the ball handler when they have over 300 rush yards? Do none of you have fucking guts? Do none of you have pride? Is there no heart? Do you just like when people stab you in the fucking face repeatedly over and over again? I got to say, being on the other end of this, because I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan, and I've watched the Badgers run for 300 yards a number of times in my life. Being on the other end of this is fucking demoralizing. Now I know what it feels like to have a team run for 300 yards on you. That is sad. But just the lack of effort that I saw, it's kind of like when your parents say they're disappointed in you, they're not mad at you. That's how I felt. I'm literally just so disappointed at the lack of effort for people not running anybody down. And tackling has been something that me and Tyler have talked about since day one of this show. Kind of like on offense, we talk about play actions. Tackling is the thing we've always hit on defense. And for them to have 16 missed tackles, that's inexcusable. I'm going to get more into it later, but that's all I'm going to say about it right now.
All right. Simon, give me 2 plays from the secondary that stood out to you on the defense.
Oof. Sorry, I was looking at something because I sent Jake the missed tackles for that game. We have 99 missed tackles on the year.
Oh my.
99, bro. That's so disgusting.
We have to play 5 more.
Okay, I got to comment on this real quick. The fact that we have that, and then you hear Matt LaFleur say this week, I've never been part of a team that practices tackling in season. It makes me so mad because it's like, so you're doing the thought process. Well, that we've always done it this way. Well, guess what? Look at where it's getting you at this point. So I get it that these are NFL players paid to play football, a lot of money, and this is a fundamental part of the game. But if you're not doing the fundamentals correct, right, this is what it leads to. 363 yards. They had more yards rushing than we had total yards.
Is that true?
Yes, 363 yards rushing.
Yeah, we had 342.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
They ran through us like morning coffee and gas station sushi. It was disgusting.
Yeah, dude, that was
apple juice. That's what does it. There's all the fiber in it.
Apple juice does get me. I won't lie.
It gets me.
Apple juice gets me.
All right, so back to what I was originally talking about, which I hadn't started, but whatever. The 2 plays that really stood out, Rudy Ford has been such a good pick. It's so weird how we find these random guys. You're like, who? And then they end up just like balling out for us. Rudy Ford's our best graded defensive player for PFF for the whole season. Not even for this game.
In the season when Adrian Amos was injured for like a game and a half, Rudy Ford played well then too. So he's done it for more than just
he's been good for us this year. And that play where he ripped it, he ripped the ball out of, was it Quez Watkins or was it
AJ Brown?
AJ Brown, thank you. That's what I meant. Okay, yeah, it was AJ Brown. He ripped it out of the hands. That was sick, man. Huh?
My Simon Says was correct. I said 4 or less catches, and he had 4.
Oh, sick. Nice.
Oh,
I think I said yes to that one. I said yes to that one because I expected Devonta Smith to have a bigger game. But yeah, for him to rip it out of AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a pretty strong dude too. It's not like he's a monster of a dude. And it was good to see him rip the right hand and then just pull off the left. And then I think they will. I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, perfect way to transition into your other one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My other one is actually Keyshawn Nixon. So cool fact. He was targeted twice on 50 slot snaps last night. And he had 2 catches for -1 yard. And he blew up a screen in the fourth quarter. I mean, they ended up scoring on the drive, but it's so as much as like we talk about like guys not getting over to tackle, there's been some good plays this year where you just see guys run to like these screens, or like what was it a few weeks ago where Rudy Ford just blew up a dude. It was versus the Cowboys, Tony Pollard. He had that play where he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That, like you see these guys that don't have these like long-term contracts or anything, like playing like they actually want to be there.
Rasul Douglas has blown up a couple screens this year.
Yeah.
Like he's had really a lot of ups and downs, but I think like to your point, like I feel like the phrase you're trying to get to is like there's flashes of ability.
But I mean that's just the Packers season, right? And we've seen them play at a very high level, just not consistently, or same with the opposite. They've played at a very, very low level. It's just the Packers season, ups and downs.
All right, Brian.
Like that's something we talk about a lot too, is consistency.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, Brian. What 2 plays stood out to you on the defense?
So the first one, this is kind of what kills me. If the game plan was let them run like crazy, when you get them in 3rd and long, you need to press them. And I know you want to rebuttal this one a little bit, Tyler, but my point is on the right before half, it was a tie game, or I think it was 20-20 at the time.
David Bakhtiari over here.
So 20. Anyways, it was 3rd and 14 before half. We played.
I can see Jake trying to stifle it too.
We play way soft on coverage, and we let them go for 13 yards. So now it's 4th and 1. What do? They run the ball for 1st down, and it turns into a touchdown. I get the point of, well, we should play off a little bit so we don't get beat deep on the 3rd and 14. But basically, if they're playing off in that position, they're conceding field goal position, which I don't understand why you'd concede field goal position. So they played soft. All it took was, yes, Jair could have tackled a little bit better, but I think it was Devontae Smith, and he broke around to the side of him a little bit. It looked like Jaw thought he was going to go outside. He went inside. But they get 13 yards, and then they easily run it for their 1st down. I get we stopped a different 4th and 1, but that especially the way they're running the ball, that percentage of stopping was not going to be very high, because I guarantee maybe we didn't stop anything else on 3rd or 4th and 1 for the entire game. So I just don't understand why we're playing so soft. And then if we're going to play soft like that, I mean, I don't know how your game plan is and you don't adjust and you continue to have the light box when they're running like that. And then when we finally get them in 3rd and long, you play soft and let them complete a big pass. And even if it was 10 yards that we gave up, we let them go right into field goal range. At that point, I just want
Elliott make a long field goal too. But
I would rather force them to kick a 57, 58 yarder again. Like why? Let's not concede that.
My point with this is that like I'm not against what you're saying. Like I'm not saying the Packers should be playing at the sticks, but I'm also like not totally on board with they need to be like face to face too. I'd like to see them somewhere.
I'd be like 4 or 5 yards at that on that kind of play. 4 or 5 yards out.
I'm thinking like 7 yards, like a 3rd and 14. You cut the distance of the sticks in half.
Yeah,
because a 4th and 7, like they're not going for that. And then, like to your point,
exactly.
That's forcing them to kick a long field goal.
Exactly. I just want to see that, like, and just to see it's so like with being run through is demoralizing. Seeing them playing 10 to 12 yards off on a 3rd and 14, you're just like, and then they're back pedaling on the snap. They're not standing still. They're backing up a little bit. I'm just like, what are we doing? Like,
I'll be honest. If we're gonna play that middle, like Tyler's saying, which I 100% agree with, by the way, you cut that right in half. That's beautiful. You blitz him so that you make him throw it hot. And then you gotta keep the ball
contained too, because like we saw a 3rd down. Actually, there was multiple 3rd downs, whether 3rd and intermediate or 3rd and long, and Jalen Hurts just escapes the pocket and just has forever to run. They had contain on him sometimes, or they had Quay Walker spied on the first one, but they missed 2 tackles. So, and I don't
think he got out of the pocket too much and was running. It was just like
designed runs. He just went for
the middle was just wide open for him.
The one that he escaped the pocket on was the one where he got down to like the 10-yard line, and it was basically him and Jaron Reed in a foot race.
Yeah, I think favorable. Okay, so on a positive play, so on that QB sneak, for one, it should have been a penalty. I don't know how they that's the worst. Like that was so obvious.
I don't know how they missed that, bro. I was like, what the?
I don't know. But what I really like to see
linebackers don't get holding calls because it didn't happen in Tennessee either.
What I really like to see is the 3 people in that really kind of made this play. Well, Douglas was in there, but you see Keyshawn Nixon, who I love, and I'll talk about a little bit more. He jumps over the line and like lands on top of Jalen Hurts. And then you see Ngbari come off the edge, and he does that thing where he's like trying to pull him backwards again. And he's getting in there. And this dude just continues to flash. I cannot wait till this is another person. We're talking about Watson. I cannot wait to watch Ngbari get more snaps alongside Gary.
Watkins?
Yeah, Christian Watkins.
Did I say Watkins? Oh, Watkins.
No.
CBS Sports said Watkins.
You saw that when I posted it?
Oh, yeah. But so
Thanks.
that was just a great play by Ngbari and coming around the corner. And then Douglas got in there as well. But I don't know how you blow that call. But luckily, it turned out in our, we continued to make the stop or whatever. So just really good play.
So the last comment I want to make on the Packers defense as far as recap is concerned is that there's a lot of people calling for Joe Barry's job. And Jake and I kind of had this discussion a little bit is this is year 2 of Joe Barry. How do we decide which year is the outlier? The Packers only missed 16 tackles all of last season. Simon just brought up they've missed 99 so far through 12 games. How do we know which one's the outlier? Is this season the outlier where they're missing tons of tackles, or is last season the outlier where they missed almost no tackles?
Yeah, it's tough.
That's the kind of decision a front office has to make.
Yeah.
So it's really easy for us to say that it's not trending in the right direction, which is true. But it's also, like I said, how do you decide which one is the outlier, especially with different personnel? Like that's the stuff the front office has to decide.
Yeah, you've heard some chatter or whatever from the players, and I think if he's lost the locker room, it's going to be hard to keep him. I don't know. It 100% has got to get better.
I also don't think they're not like the type of team that's going to fire someone in the middle of the season either.
All right, David, I gotta say this because I've seen this so many times. Is that Joe Barry coached the 0-16 Lions and he coached a bad Redskins team? You realize that those players were like the level of defense that the Bears are currently playing? Like there were no good players on either of those teams. I challenge you to name a single player from the 0-16 Lions on defense or from the Redskins the year that that Joe Barry was their defensive coordinator.
Dominican Sue. Was he on the team that year? Probably not.
What year was it? Was it 2010?
No, it was 2008.
See, he was not.
Oh no. Then
he was at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton has hit a big 3, by the way.
Yeah, as soon as you that, I flipped over to the game.
Sorry. I'm gonna watch this and I'm listening. I can multitask, I promise.
But that's the thing. Like you can go back to where Joe Barry played on, or he was linebacker coaches on teams that had talent, and that's where he succeeded. You can go back to the 2001 Buccaneers. Can anybody name a defensive player from the 2001 Buccaneers?
I mean, I can name a couple.
Warren
Brooks.
John Lynch, Derek Brooks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Simeon Rice.
Yep.
Rondé Barber.
That's a good one too.
See?
Wait, Jake's just going to name the entire defense.
Yeah, exactly. Now name me somebody from the 2020 Rams.
Aaron Donald. Von Miller.
No, was he there? No, was an undrafted free agent.
Littleton, yeah.
Pro Bowl.
I mean, they have did they
was Ramsey there?
No,
They
had Ramsey
was there.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
So the history card, it's not a valid argument in my opinion, because it's different players.
I on a sort of rebuttal for that, I think like I was talking to Jake before the show. I don't know if you were in here or not. Like I feel like the talent is too good on the defense for what's been produced.
Right.
And I was talking to you last week, I don't think it's all Joe Barry's fault. I think he musters some of the blame. Right. But at the same time, these players also have to execute the plays as well.
Brian had to vomit. That's why he turned his camera off.
Yeah, that's fine. He was like, I'm tired of talking about Joe Barry.
But that's the point. Like, it comes down to the players as well. Like Joe Barry isn't missing 99 tackles.
Agreed.
If all of those tackles are made, or even say 50% of them are made, are we having this conversation?
Mm-mm.
Were we having this conversation at any point last season?
No,
I think
because
no.
Campbell made a lot of fucking tackles for us last year,
Yes,
a lot in space. His 2021 is going to be underrated. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch to the offense. And for me, two things that stood out. One was the screen to Aaron Jones on 2nd and 11 that went for 30 yards. That, like, the play design on that is like the genius that we were all hoping we would get from Matt LaFleur when he first came here. Like, that's what we were hoping from Matt LaFleur, was offensive genius. That play was offensive genius. So the Packers set this up. There's two wide receivers to the left of Rodgers. It's Christian Watson and it's Allen Lazard. They both go and clear out the cornerbacks from the left side of the play. Next, they run a play action to Aaron Jones that looks like he's going to run off tackle by David Bakhtiari. Then Rodgers spins to the right, and it looks like he's going to roll right. So there's 5 guys. Like I drew the lines of the eyes to where everybody is looking at Aaron Rodgers rolling to the right. Rodgers stops, plants his right foot in the ground, throws back to Aaron Jones, who's got Josh Myers, Elton Jenkins, and John Runyon out in front of him to block. And they got just nothing but daylight. One linebacker to block, and then boom, Jones is gone for 30 yards. That's such a fantastic play design. I was super happy to see it.
Can I say one thing about that real quick? I was so happy to see Josh Myers running his ass off 30 yards down the field after he just fucked up the play before.
True.
But that is the great part about football, is you can make a mistake and next play you go out and you make one. And he was leading the charge on that play, but that was a fantastic play.
You know who else was down the field blocking?
Who else?
Samori Toure.
Nice.
I don't know if anyone else saw that. But I noticed him at the end of the play. He was on one of their safeties or whatever, way down the field.
All right, David named 2 players off of the Lions: Cliff Averill and Corey Redding.
Yeah, those guys. They're very memorable.
Hall of Fame talent.
Yep.
Vincent said made a 13 win on Sunday, bear down. Hey, nothing but the best of luck. I hope everybody comes out healthy and that it's a good football game. Yep. But respectfully, I hope the Bears lose by 30.
Respectfully.
Fuck the Bears. That's all I'm going to say to you.
Like I said, I hope everybody exits the game healthy.
This is another one of those games where if we don't win, it's, they'll be like, oh my gosh, it can beat the Bears. And if we do win, it's like, oh, it's just the Bears.
Yeah.
That's how the Bears fans will treat it.
That's how Packer fans will treat it.
I wanted to lose.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you noticed. I've seen way more Bear fans counting down to draft day than Packer fans. I'm just
easily.
Bro.
They're trying to lose. It's like, no, they're not trying to lose, dude. You want to tell yourself that.
You just suck.
All right. So the other play that I put with the offense, and I wanted to kind of explain this a bit and present what the coaches have to do when they're going through late game situations. And it was the Packers kicking a field goal when they're down by 10 with just over 2 minutes left?
Yeah.
I think it was like 2:16 left, I want to say.
Yeah, it was right before the 2-minute warning.
Right. So it's 4th and 4 at the 15-yard line, and people are like, why are we not going for it? We're down 10. We need 10 points. Kicking the field goal in that position, you are kicking essentially an extra point of a field goal, and then you need to get the ball back. Now, here's my thought on this. What do you think is more likely to happen? You convert a 4th and 4 and then go score a touchdown and you're just chewing time that whole time, or a 32-yard field goal? Like, it's obviously the field goal. Now, what do you think is more likely to happen? If you say you score the touchdown, but now you're at the 50-yard line with 9 seconds left. Like, sure, you can try to run a short play to get out of bounds. All right, let's say there's 5 seconds left. What do you think is more likely? A 50-yard touchdown pass or a 67-yard field goal from Mason Crosby?
Mason Crosby can't hit a 47-yard field goal right now, so I'll take the touchdown.
I'm not gonna lie to you on that.
Like, that's the thing that a coach has to think about. So you're at 4th and 4. Like, sure, you can try to go for a touchdown and say you score it, but then you get caught at the 50-yard line, and sure, you're down 3 and a touchdown would win it for you. But if you don't convert that 4th down, then you're still down 10 with 2 minutes to go, and you have no chance to tie the game. So you take the points in that situation. Giannis just dunk on somebody or what?
He just chase down block, the king of the chase down block.
Sick.
Oh,
I can't wait to rewatch the game. I'm excited. Anyways, okay, so
sorry.
You take the points in that situation because you can't. There's nothing else you can logically say. Like Mason Crosby, I love Mason Crosby. He's not making a 67-yard field goal to send a game to overtime. So you take the field goal while you're closer. That's the higher percentage play. And then, like I said, I would take the chances of Jordan Love throwing a ball 50, 55 yards to the end zone than Mason Crosby kicking a 67-yard field goal.
I mean, we have a couple big targets: Watson, Alan Lazard, Tanyan. I mean, we have a bunch of guys that could be jump ball guys in that situation.
Right.
Yeah, the field goal was part of the equation. You needed it, so you take it.
Right.
That was the right,
exactly.
100%. And we had a chance to stop him on 3rd down. We didn't. We had a chance to get Jordan Love the ball back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this. Everyone's competitive, but I really like to see. I like to see his reaction of disappointment when he realized, okay, well, I'm not going to get the ball back, because he was ready. He wanted the ball back.
Yeah,
he did.
I wanted to see it. I was just praying for one more chance to see him just try to do anything to muster it up, but it wasn't meant to be this time. But I think he's going to get his chance.
Yeah. All right, Jake. What 2 plays stood out to you from the offense?
All right, let's watch Russell Westbrook make a layup. Goddamn son of a bitch. So Aaron Jones negated touchdown. When the hell did it become illegal to manhandle somebody in football? This is not rhetorical.
Yeah.
I actually want answers.
Well, I can't answer. Dude, I was watching that play. I was like, fucking where, man?
Dude, we literally blocked so good. The refs are like, something has to be wrong here.
Yeah, there's no way that wasn't a penalty. There's no way that man just took that man and
planted him into the ground.
11 yards into the ground. Like, he's just full on, dude, just ragdoll. Like, I can't.
Arm was implanted inside of his shirt and just you're going to sit right fucking here.
Nope, you're going to sit 5 more yards down there.
Right. He manhandled him. I mean, I wanted to talk about this play because I'm fucking disappointed, man. I mean, the Packers were getting punched in the mouth all game, and then we finally get the punch back, and the refs take it away from us. Now, I understand that this is the same drive, I believe, where we threw the touchdown to
– There was the play right at – oh, no, wait, there was one play in between. It was the Tunyon negative 2-yard catch.
Yep. Yeah. Because it was 2nd and 20.
Because he tried to off-look and screen on the backside, and it didn't work.
Tunyon breaks that tackle. It's a touchdown, by the way.
Yep, there was nobody there.
Yeah, it is what it is. And then the second play I wanted to talk about, Christian Watson, bro. Dude, that guy's so fast, he makes fast people look not fast. That's just fucking ridiculous, right?
Everyone's both moving in slow motion.
I mean, I love the play design by it. So if you looked at it, they had Watson and Cobb in a stack on the right side. Then they had Alan Lazard by himself up top. He runs a post, right? So you could tell early on, and Jordan Love probably saw this, and Jordan Love was slinging that son of a bitch, by the way. I'm really shocked nobody took a Jordan Love breakdown. But
we're going to talk about Love and Rodgers. David's
asking. That's what I figured. I figured we'd kind of get into it when we talked about that.
First of all, I got to flex. Giannis just tied the game. Let's fucking go. So Alan Lazard runs a skinny post, right? Which the safety is a freaking moron. He actually, Blankenship played a really, really good game. That interception he had on Rodgers was beautiful. Played that perfectly. He's not getting that pick unless he plays that absolutely perfect. But on this play,
Tyler Davis runs the right route. But yeah,
he's still broken the ball really well. I won't lie, broken the ball really well. But Alan Lazard takes the safety. The safety takes one little mini step back, and having Watson in the stack allows the Packers receivers open field and a free get off the line. So they're not able to press in that situation because there's just too many things that can happen in a press on a stack, right? So you allow Watson to just use open field, and beautiful by Matt to call this play up. Just be like, hey, kid, just run really, really fast and run away from that guy. And that guy stood no chance. Jordan Love, though, he stuck that foot in the ground. He threw it. That was perfect timing. That was right in the freaking breadbasket. I mean,
right in stride.
Yeah, and Watson just runs past everybody. And I will say, there is no better lead blocking wide receiver in the NFL than Allen Lazard, because that guy will cold clock you 50 yards down the field, and I love it.
Dude, he did. He got back into that play and pancaked a dude at like the 5-yard line.
I love Allen Lazard.
Play.
We need to get Allen Lazard on, because no one talked about this. We need to get Allen Lazard to show someone like Jair Alexander how to block so Quay Walker can score a touchdown.
My God, that was
I really thought he hit on the quarterback too. Like, stick him in the ground.
It was
you get a free chance to stick him.
Jalen Hurts, and he should have smoked them, and he didn't.
And he even did this too. He's like, "Come on!" Like,
I'll tell you what, if that was Rashawn Gary in front of him, Jalen Hurts was getting hit.
Yeah.
So smash the fuck out of him.
All right, Simon, what 2 plays stood from you on the offense?
Yeah, we kind of just talked about it a little bit, but Rodgers' second interception. Yeah, I guess in the interview, Rodgers was like, Tyler Davis ran the wrong route. I guess he was supposed to run it a little bit more flat, but Rodgers also did acknowledge
right along.
He drifted 4 yards back.
Yeah, he drifted like towards the end zone.
Ran it more
and Rodgers also did acknowledge that he shouldn't have thrown that ball anyways. Yep. So
because the target is Tyler Davis.
Damn, man. It just sucks that they had something going too. Like that drive was looking good. Rough and then it's like things that could have been, you know.
It's the whole season now.
That drive really makes me
mad. And yeah, it's disappointing. But it'd be like that sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I got AJ Dillon's touchdown run. It's good to see him score. That was his first score since week 1. Oof. Is week 12. Oof. I don't think anyone predicted the Packers. I feel like AJ Dillon's been kind of disappointing to a lot of people this year in certain aspects. I think he's still having an okay season. He's averaging 4.2 per attempt, maybe more now. I think it was
this game. It's 4.2 now. This game helped him perk up because he had been having a rough season until.
Well, we know why he was struggling. Now he was busy, bro. His wife was wearing his ass out.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
He's on that Twitch.
So all right, so
he had him projected for 4.5 yards a carry and 9 touchdowns.
Oof. Or we're close.
So he's in for a hell of the next 5 weeks.
He's got 5.
Or
the next 5 days, he's gonna light it up.
7 touchdowns in 5 weeks incoming.
So I will say one thing. It's probably disappointing as he may be looking. There's 33 running backs in the NFL that have 100 or more carries. Yards after contact per attempt, he's 17th. So he's kind of like middle of the pack right now. And I don't think that's bad. Jesus. Just for like what kind of player he is.
Yeah.
I feel like that there's been a lot of times where he's been at the line where he's just gotten stuffed like immediately. Yeah. But it is good to see him catch a few passes, a couple swing passes. I do like that the pony package where they like have one on each side of Rodgers. I feel like that's kind of working the last couple weeks.
Yep. I'm going to talk about that a little bit when we get into the previews.
Yeah. Jake, you paying attention?
I'm paying attention. Oh my dude, this game is going to be an instant classic. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Ryan, so it is good to see AJ Dillon get on the board again.
Yes, for sure. And just to see him have a good game, just to get some confidence back, get some mojo back. Bryant, what 2 plays stood out to you on offense?
So I picked these 2 plays because it's plays with 2 amazing throws. And one by each quarterback, and it just shows. I want people to appreciate what we have now and what the potential of our future is. So the first one is that throw to Randall Cobb. First off, the blocking from the line was amazing. Second, if you go back and watch that throw, the amount of torque that Aaron Rodgers put on that ball, like perfectly to Randall Cobb, it's easily one of his best throws in his career. Not the most highly difficult or anything, but just an absolute seed right to the only spot in the end zone where it can be. It's just an insane throw, and people don't appreciate. People will look at that one and be like, "Yeah, I mean, Cobb had a yard of separation," but the camera angle that they showed it coming in at that angle with that kind of speed and come right into Cobb's hands, like it's not a lot of quarterbacks can do that. Now, the second throw I want to talk about It wasn't a completion, but it was a Aaron Jones, Jordan Love threw to Aaron Jones, and I'm gonna forgive Aaron Jones for dropping this because I don't know that he expected that velocity or for that ball to come to him. I know this is what they call the turkey hole or whatever, right? Because they were playing zone, the cornerback kind of sat and the safety was up over the top, and Aaron Jones found that spot. Like within a matter of a second or two from the snap, Love identifies that immediately and just absolutely rips it in there, like, and beats the safety coming down to Jones. And Jones unfortunately dropped it, but you can see, like, if you go back and watch the play and just see the velocity that ball is coming in at so effortless, like, and Jordan Love gets it out so quickly, like every single one of his throws, there were seeds, like he was driving the ball really well.
That last throw he had too in the end zone was an absolute dime too.
Yeah, he was throwing dots, bro.
Yeah, could have been a pass interference too.
It could have been a pass interference. There was one throw he probably wants back all night, and that's when he went for Watson. Instead of waiting a half a second, he would have had Lazard for that touchdown. But that throw to Aaron Jones is an amazing throw.
Yeah,
even though it wasn't complete, like you can see how fast it got on top of Jones when he turned around to look for the ball, and the fact that he can make that, if that's a wide receiver doing that, and Jones does have great hands, but if it's like someone, experienced wide receiver, that's probably going to expect it coming to him a little bit faster than that, he probably makes a catch. I just want to say that was an outstanding throw.
Yeah, that's a difficult throw to make for a lot of quarterbacks too, is hitting that. Yeah. So
go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I feel like people are downplaying Love's performance a little bit, but he's shown it just in that little bit that he has the talent and the progression he's made over the last few years and what limited time anyone's been able to see him. He's probably the biggest unknown
player
in the NFL.
Yeah. And for people saying, "Oh, they're playing prevent," I'll take Darius Slay's opinion. I'll take Darius Slay's opinion over your opinion.
Yeah,
the guy that was on the field and said, "Holy crap, he was slinging it."
So, in what world is prevent defense rushing 5 and playing single high safety? Just curious. Right. Just curious.
What prevent defense doesn't prevent Christian Watson running past your entire team? I mean, the other play that I wanted to bring up was the play that he hit Lazard on, because he identified, that's another play where he identified the defense, and then as soon as Lazard went into his break, the ball was out. Like, you can watch, like, the timing of the plays, like, it's flawless.
And everyone's like,
I'm not saying that Jordan Love is flawless, because he's not, but that play specifically, the timing of it was flawless. Lazard went right to it, right out of his break, looked, ball was in his hands. It was like a 12-yard gain, and they were on the left hash mark on a pass to the right side. So that's a great throw that Jordan Love made.
Yeah, even on his third or fourth down or whatever, everyone's like, "Oh, it's only a 4-yard completion. That's not tough." That ball is traveling in the air 25 to 30 yards to get it out to the boundaries. You realize that a football field is 50 yards or 52 yards across or whatever it is, right?
53 and a half.
Yeah, that. So, exactly. So, I'm really, really encouraged by what I've seen.
I agree. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the Eagles game?
No.
Fuck Philadelphia for cheering, giving shit to
that fan base. I was going to go to that game, and I decided not to, because I just know it's like I'd probably leave there.
Same with dude giving double bird to Watson. Like, that's it's such a classless city, honestly. Yeah. And then I love the Watson.
I think that goes for any fan that does that shit too.
Yeah.
Like, if you do that stuff, I don't understand. I just don't understand that.
You deserve to have outbursts like Rodgers did to Chicago last year.
Yep.
Yeah. You deserve that.
If the identity of your city is that rival fans don't even feel safe going to your city to watch a game because they're going to be harassed or attacked, like, you shouldn't. That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah. All right, Bryant, give us the Packers and Bears injury report. We had a surprise addition today, so we got to talk about it.
We need to cut him. I mean,
right. So only logical progression.
If it wasn't for all that beer drinking, his appendix would have been.
I saw that earlier. No joke.
No, you're joking.
Earlier.
No way.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was about to get
emergency appendectomy. injury prone.
I was about to give Packers fans credit. Granted, I've been super busy this week, so I haven't been on social media as much, which has been great. Like I hardly check. Like you guys probably noticed that I haven't checked our messages and stuff a lot because I've just been swamped. It's just crazy week. But I was like, I haven't seen much people saying anything about Bakhtiari. Kudos, and then that was facetious, or whatever. I mean, and then you tell me someone's facetious. I always mess that word up every time. Facetious. I always say facetious.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like, no.
I was like, get out of here, man.
It was like one random person.
And the worst part is someone said something this week too, and I commented. They were talking about, we seriously need to look at left tackle for the draft, and I was like, oh yeah, because Bakhtiari hasn't been shutting people down, and now he has an emergency surgery, and I'm just waiting to go on Facebook and for that guy to have a smart ass comment.
Speaking of Bakhtiari, 0 pressure, 0 sacks last week.
I thought he gave that out there. The Eagles. I guess quick. I don't know who that one went to, but anyways, back to the injury report. So David Bakhtiari unfortunately is out. I hope he gets healthy. We're going into the bye week. I'm just glad they caught it. I can take care of him. And even if he misses another game after the bye week, the dude just had an organ cut out of his body, so leave him the hell alone. Now, granted, it's a pretty useless organ, but it was still cut out. Devondre Campbell is questionable. We'll see if he's going to play. Romeo Doubs is questionable. I'm hoping. I mean, Aaron Rodgers kind of came out and said maybe it's not best for him. And maybe he's right. Maybe like let him sit, and then we get through the bye week and he comes back. And then we have 4 more games for him for his rookie season, because the worst case scenario would be for him to re-roll it and then miss the rest of the season. That'd be an terrible outcome. So hopefully he plays. And if he do play him, I really hope he only sees like 25, 30 snaps max.
Yeah,
right?
Limited, yes.
The only other person on the injury report is Darnell Savage, who is doubtful. So even if he played, it was doubtful he was going to make it play. No, I'm kidding. But I hope it's very minor. I hope he's fine. I don't want to see players injured. It's too bad for him. So, and especially someone I don't want to say he's fighting for his job, because his job is guaranteed next year, but it's someone that needs to put some stuff on tape, because after next year, you don't have no guaranteed money anywhere. So down to the Bears. The Bears are really, really beaten up. And this is why if we don't just destroy this team this week, I'm going to be a little upset. Larry Bloom, an offensive lineman, is out for them. Jaquan Brisker, their rookie. That's a rookie, right?
He's a rookie safety.
Safety is out. Kyler Gordon is out. You got Riley Reif is questionable. Trevor Siemian, their best quarterback, is out. And then another defensive back for them is questionable, not to mention, they have some players that went on IR and everything. So
Simeon's out for the year too. I think I read that he had surgery on his what do you call it?
Yeah,
his abdominal. That's it. Jesus.
It's core injury. Okay.
Yeah.
Oblique. So and then they, this team is decimated. So I really feel like we should lay it on them, but we'll see. We can talk about that more with the preview. So, but it's pretty. I don't want to say we're more healthy, because obviously we have some big injuries, and we also lost players for the year and stuff like that. But overall, Aaron Rodgers is not on the injury report. He's going to play.
All right, so we're going to talk about the offense, and when I bring stuff up to you guys, like I want to keep anything quarterback related separate, and do that at the end, and do that all at once. So for me, the main thing for the offense was running through the air. Now, this is something I've said, and it's kind of an oxymoron, but this is something that I bring up. Running the ball through the air. So you might look at the box score and see that Aaron Jones only had 12 carries and that A.J. Dillon only had 8 carries. But they both had 3 receptions, so they both combined for 26 touches when you factor carries and receptions. Now, that's out of 37 plays that didn't result in incomplete passes or like the one negative 1 yard run by Aaron Rodgers, which was technically like a sack, but doesn't record that way. So 26 out of 37 plays is 70% of our plays went through Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And then Aaron Jones finished with 99 scrimmage yards. A.J. Dillon finished with 88 scrimmage yards, is 187 yards. That's 54.7% of the Packers' yards came from those two.
Love it.
So, like, there's lots of like stuff, and I'm gonna kick this to Bryant to talk about the running back usage, but like I'm fine with the way they used these two in this game. I don't know what are your thoughts, Bryant.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's where I was going to the balance. This is what I thought we would see all year, right? So this is game exactly what I thought we'd see all season. I hope we see the rest of the season. Because on the year, I'm pretty surprised that Jones has 30 more carries than Dillon. And I think we all pretty much doing our projections had Dillon probably having more carries than Jones on the season because we thought Jones would be way more involved in the passing game.
He said no. He didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I was going to say, Dillon seems to be getting stronger now. He's kind of coming along a little bit when the weather's getting colder. Just having a better last couple games, really. But their lack of usage in the passing game was kind of surprising me, but this last week we've seen them each have 3 catches, and we've really seen Jones' ability down the field because we talked about it. The touchdown catch from Aaron Rodgers, Simon's exactly right. Like I seen that it was Jones caught it, I was like, what the heck? Because I think it was 20+ yards or something. I can't remember exactly how long it was. It was 27 yards or something.
Yeah,
like
26, I think 27.
Yeah, and it was so. That was a great catch. And then the throw by Jordan Love. Jones was, again, like 15, 20 yards down the field. So just seeing him get down the field was really good. So I just continue to hope like 50% of our offensive production should be from those two players because they're two of our top, 3 offensive players, I would say, aside from Aaron Rodgers, on the field.
It's 23 yards.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I agree with you, Tyler. It was a great usage. I really like I'd love to see 12 carries for each and 5 targets for each every week because they deserve it because that's what type of players they are.
Through carries and targets, that's 28 total plays that were designed to the running backs or that went to the running backs out of 49 total.
We only ran 49 plays that game?
Yeah.
49 plays.
Well, they ran 70.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
They destroyed us in plays.
All right.
Sick.
Jake or Simon, do either of you guys want to say anything specific about the offense?
Simon?
Outside of Rodgers and Love.
For the preview?
Yes.
Okay, so I think Eddie Jackson's done for the year, right? I'm pretty sure I read that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I read that. Jaquan Brisker's out this week. Kyler Gordon, their rookie cornerback's out this week. I think I know we could go either way on this one. Really, their defense is just fucking decimated by injuries and just lack of overall talent. If we don't put up 35 points this week, I would be very surprised because Brisker's been showing out this year. I don't know if you guys have been really paying attention to his play.
He's been good,
but he's been really good in coverage this year. Let me bring up what I had. He's been targeted 32 times. Allowed 23 receptions for only 197 yards.
Very low average.
Very low yards, yeah. He's been incredible in coverage. And I really like Brisker coming out too. I was kind of clamoring for a safety, and I kind of wanted him. But
I wanted Jalen Peter.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
You drilled that. I wasn't even looking at safety at the draft. I was like, no, I think we're good for now. And man, you guys are 100% on that. Like we needed one, and it's hurting us now.
Yeah,
but
we've got a revelation in Rudy Ford.
Yeah, we do. But yeah,
but with those guys out, I think this is gonna be another Christian Watson game.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I think he could take another one to the fucking house.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, and to your point, Eddie Jackson had like 4 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles on the year.
Honestly.
And then Kyler Gordon had 2 interceptions or whatever for them. Anyone else playing has only I think I was looking at last night, like 70% of their turnover production is out this game.
Yeah. So basically
same with
Vildor's trash. I think Vildor's playing. He was on the injury report, but he's playing. And Jalen Johnson, he's been okay this year. Not fantastic, but not bad. Most teams have just been running all over the Bears.
Yeah. Roquan Smith was traded week 8. He's still their leading tackler. He's still one of their leaders for sacks.
Sanborn's been pretty good for them this since for filling in for him. I think he leads the NFC North in tackles since he's been traded.
Wow, Bucks
I'm
came
pretty
back
sure.
and took the game, huh?
But so I just feel like their secondary's going to be very vulnerable this game too.
Yeah.
And with how much, I don't know whatever that is, but I feel like sometimes we just get away from the run for no reason. So, and I don't think that would be a bad thing this game.
I think it should be a game where like the balance should be probably almost as close to 50-50 as we've seen it.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I think this defense is just going to be just overall.
Like David said, it should be a game the offense can click with less effort. While I believe that might be true, that doesn't mean I want to see them play with less effort. And I know Jake has some strong feelings on this, but I would rather see the Packers play like they're down 7 to Philadelphia, regardless of the score against Chicago. Like, build momentum with the offense. Like, you scored 33 against a pretty damn complete Philadelphia team that went and added more pieces to their team. I'm not saying that that's your point, David. I'm just saying that the Packers shouldn't view it that way. I'm not saying that you specifically viewed it that way, but basically play to blow them out.
I think Aaron Rodgers is stupid motivated to play this game, and I think, and you'll see that in one of my my bold predictions. I think he wants to lay it on these dudes. Like, I'm not going to say
Rodgers.
Yeah, no. So, I'm not saying that like he's gonna. I think he wants to exercise some demons on the season this game. So
what's your matchup?
It might be his. Depending on the results of the games during our bye week, this could be his last game of the season because there's ways that we could be essentially eliminated from the playoffs. So,
all right, Brian, what's the matchup you're watching?
So for the I wrote down landlord versus tenants. So I'm watching Aaron Rodgers versus.
That is awesome. That is
I'm telling you, I feel like
oh my god,
this dude would go out there with one leg right now because I feel like if he's thinking in his mind like if this, I don't know if they've had this discussion. I hope that I want Aaron Rodgers there as long as possible. But he might be in the mindset like this might be my last game as a Green Bay Packer. I don't know, or if he's decided to retire. I'm not saying that's what he's going to do, but I just have a sense that he wants to
hold on until we get to Rodgers and Love.
I feel like he wants to light people up, so I put landlord versus tenant because I think he wants to say I own you again. Like that was what I wrote down. So
all right, sorry. Simon, what's your matchup?
I got Christian Watson versus Jalen Johnson with their only. Is that what you had too?
I have stats for it.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, I'll let you go on your stats.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I want you to. Okay. I want you to go.
Okay. Well, I wanted to actually give some respect to a rival player since I talk so much shit all the time. But I actually like Jalen Johnson. He's a pretty good young corner. I have Watson and Johnson as well. So I went for the last month since Watson was the player of the month in the NFL or rookie of the month in the NFL. In the last month, he's had 22 targets, 14 receptions, 289 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty good for a bust, if you ask me. Then you go to Jalen Johnson. His numbers are pretty disgusting, actually. For a guy with no safety help right now and basically the only guy on his defense, for him to be left on an island, they're pretty decent, in my opinion. 17 targets, 11 receptions, 201 yards. That's it.
It's kind of a high yardage, but
But he has no safety help over the top. He's only giving out 50 yards a game, or if you do the average of 4 games.
Right.
That's not bad. I mean, with little experience over the top, no pass rush. I mean, think about it, man. They got nothing out there. They traded Roquan Smith, their best defensive player. So I think Johnson versus Watson is going to be interesting. Johnson gets to meet his new daddy for the next couple of years until he wants out of Chicago. So it'll be fun.
Dude, I would love to see them like making Johnson trail Watson because that to me like signals teams are starting to respect Watson and think he's the number 1 wide receiver on the team.
Well, having Dubs free some shit up underneath.
You fucker.
I was thinking about it the whole time, and I was like,
everybody here is just a wordsmith, and they're just gonna keep going and going until they bring up everybody else's points. Because my thing that I'm watching is seeing Dobbs and Watson on the field together. Dick.
Sorry, that happened. That happened.
I love that we always do this shit to each other.
I know.
We even prepare like notes and share them, and
you still had to vulture my point.
Honestly, that's like probably my favorite part about this show is us talking and just like getting to each other's stuff without ever talking about what we write down. I love it.
So every time we're about to get Rodgers, God damn it, no. I'm turning to CBS Sports and I'm saying the wrong last name. Every time we're about to have Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson together, one of them gets hurt on the first play.
Yeah.
It happened to Watson in Buffalo, and then it happened to Dobbs in Detroit, and we haven't gotten to see them together since then. So since they've each respectively broken out, we haven't gotten to see them together, and that's something that, aside from the record, that's honestly, it's the thing I'm most excited for, is to see those two on the field together. David, I'm not jinxing it. I'm talking about it because it's going to be fun to watch, because it's going to be the future for the next 8 to 10 years.
If Jordan Love slings it like that, we're about to fuck some people up, boy.
Dude, I wonder if like rival fans are watching that just part, and they're only saying that's got to be prevent because we just don't want it to happen again.
That's definitely the reason.
There's so much, like, I feel like there's so much like trying to manifest that Jordan Love isn't going to be good, because I don't know that rival fans could handle the Packers having back to back great quarterbacks.
I'll tell you this. So there's a Bears fan who I actually like him as a person. His name's Oscar. I don't know if you guys know Oscar.
Yeah, I know Oscar.
Yeah.
So he commented, he said, if the Packers get another great quarterback, I'm quitting watching football for the rest of my life. I was like, that is a fair response, Oscar.
Valid.
You know, the funny thing too is, like, I think that is going to be like the defining pick for Brian Gutekunst. I said this like the year after for his tenure, is that's going to define whether he makes or breaks as a GM.
Oh, you just brought up a great point. Watch all the people, because you said something like this before. Watch all the people, like, all of a sudden Love starts going crazy. I love that.
Oh, pick. Yeah.
That pick was the best. Brian Gutekunst is the best GM we've ever had.
And that's my favorite part, is being able to be like, I was patient, and like I was waiting for his breakout. And that's the same thing I did with Watson. I was like, just give it some time. Let's see what happens, rather than, what a drop city bust, blah, 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 piece of shit. You know, and that thing where his mom shared the apology post.
Yes,
I
that made me so happy.
I loved that.
Christian Watson. So we made an apology form for Christian Watson for people saying that he was made of glass, or that he was a bust, or he only drops the ball, or it's only one good game, relax. And I posted it with the Rookie of the Month announcement, and the Packers sharing his touchdown totals and stuff. And Christian Watson's mom retweeted it on Twitter and said, "This is the tweet." Oh, it was awesome.
I gotta tell you,
I love seeing that too.
That was awesome.
We are gonna talk about some legendary shit in like 8 years from now, when Watson's the best receiver in the league, right? And we're gonna be like, remember when people were talking shit about him, and then all of a sudden you just decided to have 3 fucking touchdowns on the same day? Like, who is this guy? He just came out of nowhere, right?
Against a good defense too.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, and on your point about Jordan Love, guess who bought his signed jersey from Pristine Auction for like $79 the year he was drafted? This guy.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that he's sitting up in my closet right now. So yeah.
So we're all going to talk about our thoughts on Rodgers and Love, and then we'll switch to the defense. The main point that I want to make, because it's such a divisive conversation going on in our fan base right now, is, and it's similar to the discussion that Jake and I had about the Badgers head coach on Wednesday, that you can be excited for Fickell and bummed about Jim Leonard not getting the job. You can support both players at the same time because they're on the same team.
Weird.
You can support Aaron Rodgers and, want him to finish on a high note, or, want him to either potentially come back next season or retire happy and retire on a 5-game winning streak. You can also be excited for the potential of Jordan Love, which it seems like we all are. And, I don't want to, no, fuck it. I'm going to toot our horn, because we all said in the preseason that we can see that his mental side of the game is improving. But all anybody brought up in the preseason was, he's got 3 interceptions. 2 of them went through his receiver's hands.
Yep.
So we could see that the progression was there. We saw like Jordan Love night and day from last year to this preseason. And then you get doing against second and third string players, which it wasn't, because most of the teams were playing the starters in their first half when Jordan Love was playing. So it wasn't just against second and third
also,
stringers.
It's not like we weren't playing second and third stringers too, because our starters didn't play at all.
Right. Yep. So for me, as far as Rodgers and Love go, the way that I view it is still whoever is going to be your starter in 2023 needs to start the remainder of the games to get as many games in as possible with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson and Samori Toure, who's going to continue rising on the depth chart, just to get as much chemistry and familiarity as possible. So that's the stance that I have. So, Jake, what is your stance on Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love?
I didn't write anything down because I wanted this to come from the heart, just like our conversation about coaches. This is how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. He's my favorite player of all time. I'm not even going to try to hide it anymore. I used to tell people it was Reggie White, but come on, man. It's Aaron fucking Rodgers. I've watched this guy's entire career, and he's given me nothing but joy. I mean, there's been some sad parts, but it hasn't been his fault. So I do agree with you that he needs to play with the young guys. And I would start him the rest of the year, because in my heart, I believe that he is coming back next year. You think he's going to go all these years with one guy, one good wide receiver, and then we're going to get 2 guys with potential, and he's just going to be like, yeah, I'm good. See you later. No, that's not going to happen. Rodgers is coming back next year. I do believe that next year can be his last season, though. That's how I feel.
I agree with that.
I felt that the entire time when he signed his contract. I was like, he's probably got 1 or 2, because Rodgers is a guy that's very interested with shit off the field. And I actually think that he'll make more appearances on the Pat McAfee show. I think he'll be on there twice, 3 times a week. I think that he could become a regular on there all the time.
You're going to take AJ Hawk's job.
Yeah, for real. And AJ Hawk is actually very good at that, by the way. He gets Pat McAfee riled up.
I love him on the Pat McAfee
he's good on there.
I love him.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Now, how I feel about Jordan Love, I will say, for the amount of uncalled scrutiny that this man has gotten, he has handled it as a fucking man.
Absolutely.
That is how I feel about Jordan Love. I love his progression. I love that he just continues to go in and work and improve. And if you can't tell that he doesn't look improved from last season, well, then I don't know what to fucking tell you, and I'm not going to waste my time explaining it to you either. But he looks like an NFL quarterback this season. You noticed it in preseason. He came into the game against the Eagles, and I was just like, hey, now, slow down here, killer. you might make a Pro Bowl if you start your first season. How I feel about it is we have 2 really, really good quarterbacks. We have a guy who's top 5, and we have a guy, Jordan Love, where I don't know where his ceiling is. But after seeing what I saw with him throwing on time and him zipping those passes in there and throwing into tight windows, I have confidence that he could be a top 5 guy too. And the craziest thing about that is I got into an argument with a guy at work because he told me that Jordan Love will win an MVP in his second year starting. He told me that today. He said Love will win an MVP his second year as starter. I said, whoa.
I don't know about all that.
In the world of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
That's the point I would
Patrick
make.
Mahomes was probably the last person to do it. I think he did that his second year starting.
He did. And I was like, I don't know. That's
Lamar Jackson might have too.
At the end of the day, I saw ESPN talk about this, and they were all like, oh, the Packers' future is bleak. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
We are absolutely in a fucking fantastic position because
David's got Aaron Rodgers.
I was going to say that
Aaron Rodgers, right? Yeah, that would be awesome. We can lose Aaron Rodgers, and I feel good going forward with Jordan Love.
I agree.
We have a young guy who can sling it.
Bryant, how do you feel about Rodgers and Love?
So I know I said immediately, like either during the game or after the game, how great would it be for Love to come in and just beat Fields? Or like, could you imagine in this game if Love had to start? I know it's Rodgers now, but could you imagine if he ran in a touchdown and like did the belt all of the Bears Nation would just melt. Like it.
What if he yelled, "I own you now too"?
Now this game, I'm really hoping that like Rodgers runs one in, and this is kind of getting into my bold prediction, and yells something like "Rent Stew" or something like that. Like I just would love it. Like, yeah. So that would be awesome. Just yell "Rent is due" or something.
If that would happen, like that Love runs in a touchdown, and you could like I bet you would be able to hear the hearts of Bears fans drop into their stomachs. Like, no. This is not happening again for a third time in a row.
But the more I thought about it, with the possibility that this could be Aaron Rodgers' last game in Chicago, it is a possibility. I'm leaning more towards that he comes back next year for the Packers. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I thought for sure, like with his contract, there was no way out of it. But if you guys haven't seen it, Rob Demoski wrote an article how they could feasibly trade him after June 1st. And the cap hit wouldn't like completely decimate us. I'm not calling for that. I don't want to see it happen because I've been kind of saying since I've seen this season going off the rails a little bit that, hey, maybe we do finish third in the division. We get a little bit of a softer schedule next year, take a deep breath, reset, and go at this one more time with Watson and Dobbs getting their experience. Maybe we make one signing that kind of pushes us there. So for me, I really want to see Aaron Rodgers at least. Obviously, he's going to start this game. Hope we beat the Bears. For me, and I'm not going to say it's a successful season. I'm not a loser like Bear, used to losing like Bears and Lions fan. It's a good season if we win one game against the Packers. But for me, like a consolation win will be beating the Bears twice, beating the Cowboys, and then if we can pull it off against the Vikings. But so I would like to see Aaron Rodgers start this game, obviously, and then play until we are eliminated officially from the playoffs is where I want it. And then once that happens, I get your point, Jake. Tyler, I absolutely understand your point about him playing with Dobbs and Watson. I agree there. But I also, if I don't know what kind of back conversations are going on, but if Aaron's like, you know what, I think I'm going to play for like 3 or 4 more years, and Packers are like, all right, because everyone's like down on him, like, oh, he's trash this year. He has the 5th most passing touchdowns in the league with like 2 rookie too. Yeah, with 2 rookie quarterbacks or wide receivers being his main targets, right? So I'm hoping that he starts until we're officially eliminated, and then if whatever they've got to be having some conversation or ideas what we're going to do going forward, and if they want to see Love play and possibly boost his trade value, if that was their plan with him, because let's be honest, like it's getting to the point where we kind of owe it to Love, like. We need to let this dude have his career and see what he can do a little bit too, right? I don't know, but then again, if we pick him up and we pay him 20-something million, does he really have room to complain? Probably not, right? So I don't know. I would like to see Rodgers start until we're officially eliminated. If that happens, or we make the playoffs. Once that happens, I'm okay with Love coming in, unless Rodgers is like, no, I really want to continue to build this rapport with Watson and Dobbs, but.
Simon, where do you stand with Rodgers and Love?
So I'm going to kind of take this a different route a little bit. I'm kind of with Jake on this one. I think it's been I don't know. For me as a fan, it's been fun to watch Rodgers over these years. I think to see him finish it all up in Green Bay on kind of his what's the word?
His terms.
Terms, that's the word. Yeah, kind of on his terms, and let him finish it out the way, the way he wants it to. And that kind of goes for any player that's kind of on the end of their careers, right? So Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, Adrian Amos, players like that have been. Fun to watch over the last few years or longer. I love seeing them. And this is like kind of the perfect season to do it too, where if we're being honest, the chances of us making the playoffs are really low. And I'm still rooting for it, right? I'm still hopeful we can make it until it's 0. But I'm still gonna have fun watching those guys like play to the end of their career. And like I said, Rodgers has given us some exciting years to watch as Packer fans, and I would hate to take that away from him as like kind of dumb. And I understand it's like a business and shit too. And Jordan Love's kind of been waiting in the wings for the last 3 years, right? and we kind of owe it to him too. But I would love to see Rodgers end it on his terms rather than he's been an injury-riddled season. We just have to bring Jordan and Love in for the Packers. And I have to say that I think the coaches and ownership have an idea of what Jordan Love is at this point, regardless of the amount of time he's played and seeing what he can do on and off the field. So does it help bringing him in for another 4 or 5 games to end the year? In my opinion, not really. I mean, you can disagree with that, and I would take that point too. Like, I understand Jordan Love needs playing time.
Honestly, on that point, I think it would make more of a difference for him to play with the Packers than play against other teams.
Yeah, sure.
Well, they've been talking about it too, like what he's been doing, like to their defense. They've seen it in practice.
Yep.
So
that's just kind of the way I wanted to take this conversation. I was going to talk about it a little bit last week, but that actually kind of went really well into this week.
Obviously, would all prefer Aaron Rodgers healthy, and the transition from Rodgers to Love to work out perfectly. We'll just kind of have to keep an eye on it. Honestly, it's possible that the front office is having the exact same discussion that we're having, and they haven't decided yet because they have an extra week to do so after this game. So, it's possible that they're having very similar conversations to the one that we're having right now. And David brought up a good point, too, that he's had a lot of time to practice with the first team offense while Rodgers has been injured and missing Wednesdays and stuff like that. So that's a good point, David. Switching to the defense, for me, the main thing that I want to see is more aggressiveness from the defensive backs. This applies mainly to the corners, and the 2 main ones that I'm keeping an eye on is Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas. So Rasul Douglas, we've seen a big difference from him last year to this year, is less interceptions. Obviously, he doesn't have a pick 6 this season, but we're not seeing the same aggressiveness of Rasul Douglas jumping routes. And I think that's kind of what made him like a perfect foil to Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander is the lockdown guy. Douglas is the guy that's going to go jump some routes and take some chances for some turnovers. Mm-hmm. So where the Packers are in the season, I would rather see Rasul Douglas trying to jump some routes and maybe guessing wrong once in a while, but trying to play to win instead of trying to play to not lose. Like, Jake and I have said this 100 times on the Wednesdays. We've said it on this show. You never fault effort. So if you're going to try to make a play to try to jump a route and a ball just gets over your head, or a guy makes a different cut, like you're making effort plays at that point, and you're trying to affect the game instead of just trying to be not the guy that lets you lose. And doing that has gotten Rasul Douglas scored on. It happened twice in the Eagles game. He got scored on. And I think, honestly, the one right in the corner of the end zone to Quez Watkins, I think that's a play that Rasul Douglas jumps last year, and he goes and makes an interception on that. So that's how I feel about Rasul Douglas. Like, be aggressive, go be the guy that goes and gets those interceptions. Don't try to be Jair Alexander. That's not his play style. Now, Jair Alexander, I get why he was trying to do what he was trying to do. On the pass to Devontae Smith, this was a third and 6, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was kind of a high pass to Devontae Smith, but Jair Alexander was kind of waiting behind Devontae Smith, hoping that it was going to go over his head and he'd be able to come away with an interception. Jair Alexander, be aggressive and go light Devontae Smith the fuck up. He's not coming down with that ball if you go light him up. And then you're looking at 4th and 7 for the Eagles, who kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown on that drive. So I'd like to see some more aggressiveness from Jair Alexander in that aspect, on that play a little bit more specifically. But
attack the ball in the air.
Exactly. So instead of, I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to see in that situation specifically, Jair Alexander go make a play himself instead of hoping that the other team makes a mistake.
Exactly. If the interception is going to happen there, it shouldn't happen in his belly. It should happen with his hands up.
Right.
And that type of play.
Yeah. So not counting on an overthrow from Hurts. Go make the play, Jair himself. Go light him up. Make it 4th and 7. Make him kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown. You know what I mean? So running back or defensive back aggressiveness is something I want to see from the Packers in these last 5 games. Go try to steal some wins on the defense. Don't try to play the bend, don't break. I would rather see guys trying to play for some turnovers and try to really affect the game on defense instead of just trying to not let the other team do something. Play to win, not to lose. Jake, you wanted to talk about tackling effort and a little bit about the Bears offense, so I will let you go. Go ahead.
All right. I'll start with effort. Again, this is non-rhetorical, but why the fuck am I talking about this? Why, as a professional team, do I have to ask my favorite team's defense to rally to the football? I mean, that is just fucking sad, dude. When I rewatched till about midway through the fourth quarter, the Eagles-Packers game, and it's just like I was just watching, and they had 16 missed tackles, and that was sad. It really was. But
Flores had 22.
I know, I saw that. But seeing the amount of people that were trying to make a tackle in space and nobody else was over there was just – that's not how football is taught. I mean, I brought it up before. I'm going to bring it up again. When I teach my stepson and the rest of my team, is I say, everybody goes to the football. That's how we're going to get him down. If everybody on the team surrounds him, he can't juke and he can't go nowhere. He's down right there, right? So all you see when my team is playing is a bunch of giant head little kids just running to one player, and then that guy's down, right? We absolutely suffocate on defense, by the way. A lot of pick sixes. Definitely led the league. It's not an official stat, but I know it is. I had to buy a lot of donuts this year because they get donuts when they get pick sixes. So anyways, the fact that I have to ask.
Rasul Douglas. Offer to buy Rasul Douglas donuts if he gets a pick six.
Yeah.
Rasul,
see if it works.
Hey, it's going to happen. This is a pretty good week to have it happen.
That would be, oh man, against Justin Fields again would be fucking phenomenal. I'll say that. But effort is just something that should. It's one thing you can control is your effort on the field. That's a mindset that you have to have. And now I'm going to talk some tackling and Bears offense. So I don't know if I should go through my stats. I won't go to my stats yet, but I'm just going to say this. The Bears rush offense is almost exactly the same as the Eagles rush offense. They run a lot of quarterback scheme runs, a lot of powers up the middle. They run some stretch runs to the outside, but really they're coming at you. They're coming straight at you. They don't give up a lot of sacks because of the running quarterback. So the Packers better be ready to tackle a quarterback this week, even though Justin Fields is banged up. He runs for a lot of yards. And when we get into our matchups here, I have some stats, and the Bears' rush offense is actually impressive. I know I pick on them a lot, but their rush offense is fucking impressive. And the Packers' rush defense is equally unimpressive.
Yeah, I think they're down to 31st. But Bryant wanted to talk about Keyshawn Nixon and then a little bit about Brian Gutekunst, which I think is an interesting conversation to have. But go ahead, Bryant.
Yeah, so and I just want to use Keyshawn Nixon as a kind of as a example of some of the stuff I was saying earlier in the season, and I've talked about this on the show, our previous shows, is that this coaching staff and stuff has seemed so I don't mean to go negative with it, but so reluctant to make the changes that they need to make made. I don't understand. I'm having trouble understanding watching him return kicks, and it's just, you're thinking, this dude's been on our team since, off-season workouts. He showed none of this, so he didn't give it a chance. Basasha had experience with him before, so it makes you just kind of take a step back and look at him and wonder how in a few games has he already way outgained what someone else had put on tape for us. I'm very excited about him. The fact, that first return, you're like, oof, come on, buddy. You just take the kneel there if you drop it or whatever. Yeah. But then he comes out and he puts up his other 4 returns for 172 yards. He was the first player in the NFL since 2018. I think Jake shared this stat with me, to have 2 returns in the same game for over 50 yards.
Yep.
On top of that, tell me how this dude, maybe he's not the most gifted on defense, but there's one thing you can say about him and Rudy Ford, and this will go to my Goody point. Those dudes laid on the line and they play with hard effort, and we have not seen that from a lot of players this year. They
I would
absolutely
throw
play
Dahl
with
and Levitt
effort
in that group as well.
Exactly. The effort that these people are putting on, and it's probably because they don't have a guaranteed paycheck next year, right? I don't want to say that. That could be a lot of it. but tell me how. Yeah. If I told you there's a certain amount of games this year where Nixon has played 2 or fewer snaps on defense, how many games do you think it would be?
8.
3?
8 on the dot, Jake. 8 games he's played 2 or fewer snaps this season on defense.
I get it a little bit more with him returning kicks, but
so he's been. But I'm talking about straight on defense.
And right, but I mean, like, they're not going to want to play your number 1 kick returner on defense as often.
Yeah, and he played more. He played 80% of the snaps this last game. So, and he returned the kicks. So for me, it was just I feel like they were reluctant to put him in for Rodgers, and they were reluctant to put him in for Savage. Savage got the first shot at nickel corner ahead of Keyshawn Nixon. Okay, so I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like they were just trying to do it because of the draft position of those 2 players.
I'm sure it is, and especially
doing what's best for this team
after 2023 as well.
Yeah, and we need to do what's best for this team. And Keyshawn Nixon playing on defense and on special teams was what was best for this team, and it's really unfortunate. I'm happy now. I'm excited about it now because he has played well, and everyone has said, I think, always he's mostly a core special teams player. He just showed that he's more than that. Same with Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford is putting it on the line. That dude has earned a paycheck next year, and I hope it's with the Green Bay Packers.
Honestly.
So, and that's what goes to my Goody point, is people are ragging on Goody, but look at and he's had some rough drafts in the past, but look at this draft class, and then, I'm sure we'll do a review on it on the offseason, and then look at some of these players he's added. Hollins. This last
Eric
week.
Wilson, who blocked a punt.
Yeah, Eric Wilson blocked a punt his first game, and he's been playing. Obviously, Nixon and Rudy Ford have been huge additions. So it's just the reluctancy sometimes from this coaching staff for whatever reason to make the changes is unfortunate. But I'm glad that it's happened now, and I'm just excited to see him the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bring all those guys back for their impact on special teams and move on, maybe from guys like Garvin and McDuffie, maybe potentially, assuming that the Packers get healthy. So it's going to kind of depend on how the rest of the season goes. But Brian or Simon, is there anything else you wanted to add to the Packers defense?
I think I think Bryant pretty much hit what I was going to hit. Right. It's just, if we don't contain Fields and he runs for over 100 yards, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, if we play soft on a team that cannot pass the ball and we let him throw like we let Tannehill throw on us, I'm gonna smash my TV. I swear.
All right, Simon, give me your matchup.
I have Preston Smith versus Braxton Jones. Where are my notes? There it is. All right, so last time the Bears and Packers played, Preston Smith had 2 sacks. And he also had 6 quarterback pressures, which was the most in a game this season. Braxton Jones has allowed 5 sacks and 32 pressures. So he struggled a lot this year. Yeah. So I can see.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's bad.
They've given up the second most sacks in the league.
So, I mean, part of that is Justin Fields doesn't have anyone to throw to. Part of that is he holds on to the ball too long. Part of that is
for Chase Claypool. I thought he was going to make their offense dynamic.
A high second-round draft pick.
It's actually funny you mentioned that. I have a good. Simon says,
right.
And then So I think Preston Smith could be in for a decent day. I'm excited to watch him.
Brian, what's your matchup?
So I kind of alluded to it already, and it's not because I don't think that they can beat them, but I'm watching the cornerbacks versus the wide receivers of the Bears, and it's because it will tell me what their game plan was coming in. If the plan is to play soft and let this team that can't throw the ball have an easy pitch and catch completions to let Fields get any kind of groove throwing the ball or having easy completions, it's just once again a rinse and repeat game plan like it was kind of against the Titans. You need to play man. You need to, if you want to give them a couple yards space, fine, but get up on them, and we need to stack the box. This entire game, we should have an 8-person box, in my opinion.
I don't know if I agree so much that they need to play a ton of man defense, but they need to basically, like you said, the contain. I think the Tannehill game is an outlier in that situation. That's the game I think they should have played a ton of man defense because Tannehill's not the threat to run. Because we're talking about another mobile quarterback like the Packers played when they played against Josh Allen, and we talked about why they played a ton of zone against the Bills. And Josh Allen didn't win that game with his legs. They won that game with some big plays, and that's essentially what it boiled down to.
I agree, but if we're gonna play zone, at least crowd their space still.
Right. That I agree with. Jake, what's the matchup you're watching?
All right, I got stats. Get ready, baby.
I'm
Here we
ready.
go. I worked hard on this one. So I have the front seven versus the Bears run game. I'm going to be watching a different position group than Bryant, clearly. So you brought up our last matchup. Week 2, the Bears had 27 carries for 180 yards and a touchdown, 6.7 yard average.
Didn't we have like 9 missed tackles that game too because of Montgomery?
Just add it to the list of games with 9 missed tackles.
I'll keep talking. I'll look that up real quick.
So I went for the last 4 games, right? Because Justin Fields has been really, really good, and our run defense has been really, really bad. So I kind of wanted to take that and compare them real quick. So I went with averages. I did their attempts. I did their attempt average. I did their total yards, their yard average, their total touchdowns, and their average per rush. Okay? So the Packers have given up 143 rush attempts. That is 35.75 per game. That is a fuck ton. The Bears have ran the ball 145 times. That is 36.25, so almost dead even. So they're going to run the ball about 35 times.
Jesus.
Total yards given up. The Packers have given up 727 yards in the last 4 games. That is an average of 181.75 yards. The Bears have ran for 797 yards. That is an average of 199 yards.
Wow, good for them.
Both 5 touchdowns. The Bears have ran for 5 touchdowns. We've given up 5 touchdowns. So then you go to the average. The Packers have given up a rush average of 4.7 yards per carry. The Bears are running the ball for 5.5 yards per carry.
Wow.
So you want to know where this fucking game's going to be won? It'll be one of the trenches. Somebody's going to have to be ready to hit somebody.
I want to share this stat real quick too. I'm sorry, I forgot to share it because just to go on this will serve to Jake's point and kind of what I was saying. This team is so awful passing the ball. They pass for 131 yards per game. Okay.
Yeah.
They're complete. There's one of 3 teams or whatever with like a completion percentage less than 60 yards, and they have the lowest pass attempts in the whole NFL season by 26, which is almost an entire game. Yeah, they're only one of 3 teams under 300 pass attempts. Going into this game, they won't have a wide receiver with more than 200 receiving yards on their active roster. Okay, and they've given up the second most sacks. So for us not to stack the box and win it in the trenches right now, it would be absolutely mind-boggling. And another thing, they fumbled 13 times this year, and they've lost 0 of those fumbles.
Yep, I saw that too. I was going to share that, actually.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at that earlier in the season, too. That's just insane luck. Going back to the Week 2 Bears game, we missed 10 tackles that game.
I was close. I was only off by 1.
That's fucking gross, man.
I've seen it all in person.
All right. So for me, the matchup that I'm watching, and it sucks because I was really hoping that last week could have been like a breakout game for Quay Walker, and it could have been in the very first series, and he missed the first opportunity that he had to spy Jalen Hurts. And essentially, it's going to be rinse and repeat the same game plan. So for me, I'm watching Quay Walker versus Justin Fields. I want to see him make that step. I had been actually kind of bragging about him for like the last 2 or 3 weeks because he had been making those open field tackles. And then he gets into the Eagles game and he misses the open field tackle. And it's like, it was 2 steps forward and now he's 1 step back. So I want to see him going forward again in his progression and see Quay Walker continue to get better. So I'm watching Quay Walker versus Justin Fields.
It's like the 3rd or 4th time this season I've praised a certain aspect of a game, and then the very next week it makes me look like shit.
And that's why you get fired.
Yeah, I will say this for this game too, real quickly. I don't want to see anyone get hurt or whatever, but I would love to see Smash Amos just like lay one of his vintage hits just like on Justin Fields and just let him know, that he's there. I don't want to see Justin Fields hurt or anything, but
maybe the other.
Okay, I don't want to see him injured. I would like to see him like, "Ow, this sucks. I don't want to be on this field anymore." So.
I want him to be sore, not injured.
Yeah, exactly. There.
All right, Jake. What's the weather going to be like?
Interesting day for weather in the Windy City here. 41 real feel, 32 degrees. Wind gusts are going to be up to 23 miles per hour. So when the game first starts, winds will be southwest at 15 miles per hour. They will shift in the afternoon to west-southwest at 14 miles per hour. So it's going to be windy, so we're going to see a lot of running.
That tracks. All right, Jake, give me your key to victory right away, too.
You guys should already know I'm a big man. I'm a big man at heart. I'm a big man in basketball. I'm a big man in football. I like hitting people. Jesus Christ, I want to see some goddamn heart. I want to see some physicality. And if those numbers that I just gave out on the Packers run defense didn't immediately make you vomit and then swallow your vomit and re-vomit again, I don't know what to tell you, because that was the most disgusting thing I've ever read in my entire life. The Packers need to stop the fucking run. And I don't give a shit who lays out Justin Fields. Somebody hit that motherfucker, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
So for me, I want to see the Packers build on their offensive momentum that they built up in the Philadelphia game. Use the Bears defense as a springboard to continue to build momentum, build confidence in the offense, potentially with Romeo Doubs coming back too, just getting another wrinkle to add to the offense. I'm looking to see the Packers continue to build their offensive momentum is my key to victory. The Bears can't win the game if the Packers score 1,000 points. So,
that would be hard.
That would be hard. Bryant, what's your key to victory?
A bunch of child.
Yeah, you're right.
Pretty much, I just wrote it a different way than Jake did. I wrote, make Justin Fields throw the ball. That's it. If he has to throw the ball to win this game, they will not win this game.
That's fair. Simon, what's your key to victory?
I don't have anything to add.
Covered all the bases.
No, the Bears are a running team. We should be able to put up points on their defense. I'm not particularly worried about that. That's just the Bears' identity this week. If we don't stop them on the ground, they can control the time of possession. If they limit the offense from scoring 1,000 fucking points, like we hope they will, then that could turn in their favor.
All right, Bryant, you weren't here last week, so I'm assuming you have like 69 Simon Says.
Only 3.
So how many do you have?
Only 3.
Only 3.
Yeah.
That was gonna be like a 1 per person per week, and Bryant's like, "Fuck you, I'm doing 3 every week." All right, Bryant, give me one.
So my first one is Rodgers is clearly motivated to play this game, and he accounts for 5 total touchdowns.
5? That's tough. It'll be sick though. 6 1/2. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
5. Yeah, 5.
I'm
really
hoping
to
he runs one
defense too.
I don't think he's done
no
4.
rushing touchdowns in the year.
I just got to point this out. I always feel horrible for your left eye when we do Simon Says, because you rub that song so fucking hard. Like, this is my thinking eye.
It is. If I can't see it helps me think. It helps me think better. No.
Oh my god.
I'm glad we all know what that is.
If anybody's seeing role models, we're canceled.
Yeah, this is why we're friends. No, 5. I don't think he hasn't even had 4 in one game this season.
It's a bold prediction, Simon.
Yeah, but like
yes or
that's
no.
so
Make a
bold.
decision.
All right, no, fuck no.
No, fuck 4. No.
Yeah, 4. I would probably say yes. 5.
That's why I put it on the line.
You should have said 4.5 then, Brian.
Yeah, idiot.
Okay, how would he account for a half?
Simon, now his left eye is going to be sunken in.
That's the same as saying 5 because you can't account for a half a touchdown.
I would just say under.
Pick 4 or 5.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Jake, give me one.
I'll go with my Rodgers one. Do we see a belt?
Yes, I'm fucking for it, man.
You have no idea.
I want to see it. I want that so bad.
All right,
you
Brian,
know what I hope happens? I hope he gets sacked like the first play of the game, and then the stupid Chicago player does the belt.
The fact that they haven't learned from that to not mock the belt, don't do it.
I love that that's like a 10-minute long video too.
Yeah. Don't mock the belt. It is
like that's like if you haven't seen the YouTube video of Don't Mock the Belt, there's like a 10-minute YouTube video of Aaron Rodgers highlights after he gets sacked and someone mocks him. It is glorious.
My second one is that Christian Watson continues his hot streak and goes for 100 yards and a touchdown again.
Yes.
Oh, I have a Watson one too.
Do it, Jake. Give me your Watson one then.
Watson, 2 touchdowns, both in the red zone.
Oh. Yeah, I seen someone try to tell
I'll take
Aaron.
that one too. Oh, did you see that?
Try to tell you
oh my
in the red
god!
zone.
Remember, I messaged you guys. I was like, maybe I can't remember what chat I was in. Someone said Watson's a glorified tight end.
Oh my god!
That's the fastest tight end of all time.
That's why that was. So I was.
Pitts was fast.
I asked him how, and his explanation was stupid. He's like, all his touchdowns have come from the red zone, which is not true. And so I quickly rebutted on that, and I made him look dumb. And then he called me. He told me I was mad.
I bet more than.
And then made him look dumb.
And then fuck, what were we talking about, Brian? I forget.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, that's yeah.
And like I think at least half of his red zones are touchdowns are outside of the red zone.
They are. And then I was like, give me one tight end that has the same size speed comp as him.
The only person you could even consider would be Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could probably buy that. He doesn't have the speed, but I love Kyle Pitts. He's a talent, man.
Save Kyle Pitts.
But yeah, and even my brother, who's a Vikings fan, was like, "Bro," and then he called Derrick Henry a tight end and stuff.
We were just having fun with that dude. I was like, "This dude's not." I can't remember what he said to end the conversation. I was like, "Whatever, dude."
I stopped reading after.
It's like that's almost like that conversation we had with Wilkins about point guards. Remember that? And then it had to be a European point guard. And then it had to be a left-handed European point guard. I was like, "Oh, okay, so we're just making this real."
He was the first man off the bench.
Oh, he's like, you guys take everything too literal. I was like, how else could you fucking mean that?
No. Now you just hit one of my fucking don'ts, dude. When you sound like a fucking idiot and then you try to play it off as trolling, that is fucking weak.
It's gutless.
Like I said, I hate when you like retort to anyone on the internet, like. You're automatically mad or like you're triggered. I'm like, bro, I am far from triggered because you make yourself look like a moron.
Who's that stupid Vikings fan that says that to every time you say anything on just response? Matt Bingham or whatever. Triggered. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a guy. Remember Richard Tunney, Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god,
dude! Every time you make him look dumb, he just put a clown emoji. It's like. Yeah, I definitely won that.
Yeah, that's why I don't even do trolling. Like it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, it is. It's not for me.
So my one Simon Says for this week is 2 turnovers by Justin Fields, 1 fumble, 1 interception.
I'm down. It's time, man. There's no way he has. I think he has 12 on the year, if I'm not mistaken. And
I didn't look because I don't care.
Fumbles.
Yeah, I think he has like 11 or 12 fumbles on the year, and he's only lost like 1.
They have lost 0 fumbles. So.
Is it 0? Man, I thought, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Unless that was all just rushing fumbles that they lost.
But regardless, I think it's time. So I'm going to say
1 of each. All right, Brian, give me your last one.
My last one is that Nixon takes a touchdown back to the house.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I'm down for that. Yeah, give me that. Give me some of that.
He had 1 man to beat on Philly on the last one.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Bears I don't even know what their special teams is like, but I feel like it's been an eternity. What Micah Hyde was the last one to do it for us. So. For a punt return for a touchdown.
3, 4.
I bet our last kickoff return for a touchdown would that be Cobb on his first game, or did Trevor Davis have one?
So
Trevor Davis was a punt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So here it is. He has 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fumbles on the year, and he's lost 1.
Wow.
Oh.
He had 4 fumbles against the Patriots. He lost none.
Yeah, I remember that.
Isn't that insane?
I was watching that game, yeah.
That's gotta be the craziest luck.
Luck runs out.
So I'll buy some of that.
All right, what do you got, Simon?
So continuing on, my kind of pounding my chest over not trading a second for Claypool. He throws up a dud.
I could see it.
0 catches.
Yeah,
I could see it happening.
I'll say he gets 2 in garbage time.
Yeah, 2 catches for 14 yards.
Isn't that like his average?
Probably.
I'm not even clowning right now. I think that's like his
maybe
average.
with Justin Fields.
Oh no, he did have 51 last week.
Because Justin Fields wasn't playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean it's true.
Oh, I mean that's why it was funny.
Yeah.
All right, Simon, give me your score prediction from the head.
Okay. I hate this matchup. I hate how our team plays versus the run, but I still have us winning 28-20.
I hate you. How? Like,
no way. No way. I changed it too. I changed it too.
What's yours, Brian?
28-20 is my heart. Or my head.
What? Mine's 28-17.
Oh!
No.
Yes.
Let's go.
17, bro.
Oh my god.
I swear we don't share these. This happens.
Wow.
There's no way. If anyone has my heart one, I'm just gonna give up.
All right, Simon, give me your score prediction from the heart.
That was awesome.
All right, Brian. 34.
Nope.
Okay. 34-17.
Close. Mine's 40-17. 40-17. 40-17.
Oh, we left a fucking 40 burger on him. I'm down.
I have 34-13.
All right, Tyler, you ready for this? 34-12. Yes.
4 field goals.
34-12.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like this is a game we should just dominate them because they're so beat up. But it's been the Packers this year, so if we play soft and let Fields run, he is dangerous on his feet. I feel like I haven't watched a lot of the Bears.
Hurts too.
I haven't watched a lot of the Bears this year, but I feel like a lot of his runs are more scrambled. Do they do a lot of
win?
Or
they do some designed runs.
They do have some designed runs.
I felt like a lot of
I don't think he
Jalen's
runs 18 times a game on accident.
Yeah.
True that. Their offense is literally the same as the Eagles. They just have shitty players.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have the great value versions of all the Eagles players.
True.
Yeah.
The other.
I don't even know if I'd go that good. It's more like the food that they bring to the, us poor people before throwing it in the garbage.
It's the fucking food pantry version.
Yeah.
Food pantry version. Oh my god.
Not knocking those people. I used to be one of them. So.
Right.
Somebody had to say it. I'm going to say one last thing real quick before we get off here. The last time the Packers started 4-8 was in 2006. They won 4 straight games to end that season 8-8. So it's very possible they could just run this thing. We play the Bears. We have a bye. We play the shitty beat up Rams, and then after that, if we get 2 dubs and a bye week and we're feeling good about ourselves, who knows, man? We're gonna have to have some shit fall our way, obviously, but we're not out of it.
So, yeah.
We can't all be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and be 5-6 and leading our division.
You're right. Jesus.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to throw out there?
Bears still suck,
Yeah.
Rents
go USA.
This is
USA
this is for
tomorrow.
the all-time lead.
Yes,
too.
it is.
I forgot about that.
Is it?
Yeah, all-time lead. We're tied right now.
Do you listen to 105.7 at all?
I do not.
Oh, dude.
I listen to 97.3.
So they had a fucking segment this week, and they said, I would rather blank than cheer for the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
holy crap, some of that was vulgar. Some of that was real bad. I was just kind of like, that was a little iffy for me, and I'm a dirty son of a bitch. But it was
I would rather do the polar plunge every day than cheer for the Bears.
It says the Packers are 102-94. Are you including?
No, all-time wins.
All-time, like
all-time wins.
Total.
Okay.
They're both at what? Like
we have the head-to-head series. But
that's what I thought you meant.
So
but they've also played 30 more games too.
I want you guys to answer. So Tyler answered. So Simon, I want you to answer. You'd rather blank than cheer for the Chicago Bears.
I can't say what.
Say it, bro. Just say it. Just say it.
Anything I'm thinking is not great. I like what I wrote in chat, and that's semi-clean. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap.
That wouldn't be very clean.
Yeah, it wouldn't be clean at all.
Well, I mean, clean compared to what some
PG-13 at least.
Yes.
Simon's a naughty person. You look like the prototypical like nice white guy, and then you hear yourself talk. It's like that guy is.
You're like, I wouldn't introduce him to my mom, right?
That guy is not coming to the Christmas party this year.
Yeah, he's definitely not invited to the
It's okay. He's invited to the barbecue.
That's good.
He's invited to the party.
All right, Brian, what's your answer? I want to hear what you got.
I'd rather get a colonoscopy.
Oh, easily.
I was going to say, I would rather brush my teeth with my daughter's shit for a year straight than cheer for the Chicago Bears.
I like how almost all our answers have something to do with ass or shit.
Hey, time out. We better check. We better check the rest of their schedule because what if, like, in week 17, we need them to win? Say we're somehow still alive.
I am never cheering for them.
Okay, but I won't root for them to win.
I'll root for the other team
so much as I'm hoping we just make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true.
I would rather chug a gallon of orange juice after brushing my teeth.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's rough.
Yeah,
it would be rough. It'd be disgusting. Ugh.
I wonder if I can find that.
High pulp orange juice, even just to make it worse.
Ooh. I kind of like pulp though.
I like my pulpy orange juice. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
God, you're both fired.
Get off of here right now.
All right. Well, let's hope the Packers get a win on Sunday. High pulp orange juice. God, you two are the weirdest fuckers I've ever met.
Hell no.
All right. I'll give you guys a chance to say go Pack go, and then you're fired again.
Hey, I'll say go USA tomorrow too.
Oh yeah, true. Go Pack go.
Yeah, and go Pack go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soccer.
They're playing soccer